Picks. Friday picks coming up here on College Football Smothered and Covered.
You are Locked On College Football Smothered and Covered with your host, Barrett Sallee. Your one-stop shop for everything college football. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, it is Friday. It's time for the Friday Five. We have headlines as well, and plus some trash talk in a high-profile game that might not necessarily be the smartest thing to do, but for content, we love it. And of course, content is king. This show brought to you by Game Time. Today's episode, you can download the Game Time app wherever you want, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege. That's Locked On College for $20 off your first purchase. Okay, it is time for picks. It is time for the Friday Five and a very special pick. I wouldn't say it's very special. It's the Friday Five. Generally, we're talking about Saturdays, but no, we are talking about a Friday night game first. It is UNLV at Kansas. UNLV 2-0. Kansas coming off a loss, a surprising loss. Look, I've never, ever been on the Kansas bandwagon. Look, I like Jalen Daniels, like Lance Leipold, but to me, Kansas last year, after that hot start, came back to reality. That is more where Kansas is in terms of the program construction. Meanwhile, UNLV plus 9.5 on a Friday night might be a little sleepy in Lawrence. Barry Odom has built that program into one of the best group of five programs out there. Of course, Barry Odom, a friend of this show. He was on this show about March or so. This is a UNLV team that took care of a Houston team that is pretty good, and then absolutely smoked Utah Tech. I don't really care about Utah Tech, but keep an eye on Matthew Sluka, a dual threat quarterback. He's not the most adept passer in the world, but he is part of a rushing attack that is multidimensional at UNLV. I really like this UNLV team, including their defense. 4.43 yards per play. Now, granted, competition, I get that, but 4.43 yards per play given up is pretty darn good. Give me the running Rebs. I love it. I'll take it. That is a Friday night special on the Friday Five. So let's move to Saturday games. We're going to start at noon. And no, it's not Wisconsin, Alabama, although I do feel pretty confident about Wisconsin covering the 16.5 or 16 or wherever it is right now. But game day will be in Columbia, South Carolina. LSU and South Carolina. What will be a muddy track because Francine is coming through Atlanta, Georgia right now. It will be in Columbia, South Carolina tonight as well as tomorrow morning. That field at the Willie B is not necessarily well kept. It will get a little sloppy. The turf will get loose. And to me, that suggests the under at 48.5. And here's why I think it's the under. Yes, it's the weather, but also I don't think LSU is going to try to do an awful lot. I do think it's going to be a battle in the trenches. It's going to be a war. Both teams are going to win those battles from time to time, which means it's going to get ugly. You're going to get a lot of punts. You're going to see LSU try to establish the run. You're going to see Rocket Sanders try to establish the run for the Gamecocks. So all of that combined makes me think that this one goes under. Now, I have been asked multiple times, who do you think is going to win? What's the line? What do you think? Who's going to cover? I would avoid this game like the plague if you're actually putting money on this. Because I've been asked during radio hits, hey, what do you think? And I say LSU. And then I come back the next one and I say, oh, no. I think South Carolina. The truth is I have no freaking idea. But what I do know is that this game will be ugly. And ugly leads to under. I'm surprised it's 48.5. I was thinking more like 42. And yeah, the weather forecast has changed a little bit. Might not be as bad, but still. And plus, Lenore Sellers for South Carolina. Look, I like the dude. Yes, they ran over, around, and through Kentucky. Is that more a compliment to South Carolina? Is it more an indictment of Kentucky? Or was it just one of those things? That question still remains. To me, I think Lenore Sellers is just a pretty good quarterback. Not great, just pretty good. So I think it'll be ugly. I think it'll be 48. Now, before we get to the rest, look, check this out. Smothered and Covered tumbler. You can have this. Smothered and Covered store. It's linked on my YouTube page. Got shirts, got hats, got tumblers, got hoodies, got all kinds of good stuff. The Civil War. And yes, we are still calling it by its proper name, Oregon and Oregon State. Let me ask you, what about Oregon makes you think this is going to be a blowout? Raise your hand if you think there's anything that Oregon has done against Idaho or against Boise State that makes you think this will be a blowout. Anybody? No, I'm putting my hand down. Putting my hand down. I'd love to know why. If you think this is going to be a blowout, I would love to know why. So respond if you're on YouTube in the comments. Hit me up on X, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Threads, all that stuff. I actually like Threads a lot, so you might want to give it a second try. Oregon State's a 16.5-point underdog at Reser Stadium in Corvallis, a pissed-off Oregon State team that suddenly has been brought back to life because the Pac-12 is going to exist again. All of those things matter. They really do. And we've talked about this a lot with Oregon. Where the hell's the line of scrimmage? That's supposed to be the strength. Can't run the ball. Dylan Gabriel's throwing it all over the place. But what is the problem on the line of scrimmage? That is supposed to be a Dan Lanning staple, and it hasn't been. So I will take Oregon State plus 16.5. Now, this leaves open so many possibilities. Close game? Sure. Upset? Absolutely. Backdoor cover with Oregon winning by 2 touchdowns? Yes, 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 1,000 times yes. And to quote Kilo Ali, I will take Oregon State all day, all night, all evening long. Now, we can't play that song because we don't have an FCC license here at Locked On, but I think they'd get pretty mad if we played the song those lyrics come from. So we're not going to do it. Texas A&M and Florida. Probably the most discussed game that we've had against two teams with early season losses probably all year. I think a lot of folks are looking at DJ Lagway and Graham Mertz and Billy Napier and like, oh, that's what this game's going to be all about. No. Florida's quarterback situation, DJ Lagway, Graham Mertz, and Billy Napier, that's a secondary story when you're trying to pick this game. Because if you look at the SEC's availability report, you will see one name on there. It's very interesting. Connor Wegman. It says questionable. Is that Mike Elko playing games? I don't know. Is it true? I don't know. But I don't know is the operative phrase here. Because under 47.5 is the play. Texas A&M's defensive front, really, really good. Florida's offensive line, really, really bad. That means defense. Quarterback situation, quarterback issues perhaps on both sides. And the point total is 47.5? I'll take the under. I'll take the under. In fact, I'm really, really confident about the under. And I did pretty good last week. 4-1 in the Friday 5. Week 1 was 0-5. Listen on. 1-4. Then 0-5 the week before. But give me Texas A&M and Florida under 47.5. Last one. And if you read the picks on Outkick from myself and my colleague Trey Wallace, we have a wild card. We pick the 3 best games, and then we have a wild card that's worth double points. The first 3 weeks, I've picked the same team, and it's UCF. They're 1-point favorites on the road at TCU. 1-point favorites on the road at TCU. I get that TCU is a tough place to play. Against UCF, maybe not. And RJ Harvey is my dude. My dude at UCF. They lead the nation in rushing. But not only do they lead the nation in rushing, they lead second place Army by 29 yards per game. TCU's a middle of the road rush defense in the Big 12. It's like candy coming from a baby, man. Just like taking candy from a baby. There will be alternate lines for this game. Take it. Take it. Whatever it is. UCF's going to win by at least a touchdown, maybe double digits. I am that confident in Gus Malzahn. We will take a break. When we come back, it's time to predict the future headlines in the college football world. I'm Barrett Salee, and you are watching and listening to College Football Smothered and Covered, powered by Locked On. The show brought to you by our good friends at eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience, the formula for winning championships, is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. In fact, I got some LED headlights when I had my Jeep Wrangler. They were perfect. Sold my Jeep Wrangler because of some electrical issues, but that's neither here nor there because eBay Motors hooked me up. I was into style, whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because eBay Motors, you're running burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available for new customers. We are also brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs. When you're hiring for a small business, you want to find quality professionals that are right for the role. That's why we have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help find the right professionals, find your team faster, and for free. It's not just a job board, though. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else, even those who aren't actively searching for a new job. They might be open for the perfect role. In any given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. So if you're wondering where to look, if you're not looking at LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. On LinkedIn, 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. Hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. Terms and conditions, they, of course, apply. Okie dokie, let's go to headlines. Headlines. All right. Memphis and Florida State. We haven't seen Florida State in 13 days. Memphis was my pick to make the college football playoff out of the group of 5. They're 2-0. Seth Hennigan is in his 45th year as a starting quarterback for the Tigers. He's been really, really good. Really, really good throughout his career. Silverfield's done a great job up there And Florida State can't block, and they can't win the line of scrimmage on defense. That's the story right there. So the headline will be disaster, because this will be an absolute disaster for Florida State. You're 0-3 if you lose this game. It's a lost season if you lose this game. And you are playing a Memphis team that is going to treat this game like a Super Bowl. Why? Because it kind of is. You know, I was thinking about this last night watching the Texas State-Arizona State game, and that was a phenomenal game. Arizona State pulled it out in the end in San Marcos. But Texas State, they treated this like a Super Bowl, because not only did you have a Power 5, Power 4 team in your own house, but Texas State has playoff aspirations. Any loss hurts, no matter who it's to. Memphis is in the same spot, although Memphis has been here before. This, of course, the Mike Norvell Bowl, because Norvell was at Memphis, led Memphis to a New Year's Six bowl game. This matters. It matters a lot for the Memphis Tigers. An awful lot. So disaster is going to be the headline, because Memphis is going to spring the upset at home or on the road and beat Florida State. The next headline, not so easy cheesy. Wisconsin's going to keep it a game with Alabama. They're going to keep it a game with Alabama. I've said this from the moment the South Florida game ended for the Crimson Tide. You cannot win on the road easily if you struggle with penalties and you struggle with ball security. And that's exactly what happened against South Florida. And now they're going to Camp Randall Stadium. That is just an awful place to play when you have those issues. Because not only is it one of the most intimidating stadiums in all of college football, again, what do we talked about with Memphis and Florida State? This is their Super Bowl. This is Wisconsin's Super Bowl. Not many people are picking them to do an awful lot in the Big Ten, and that's okay. And they know that. But how do you get back on the map? You beat Alabama. Now, they're not going to get the job done, but Wisconsin will have the ball late with a chance to tie or win. So the headline is not so easy cheesy, because I do think Alabama gets the job done. But man, it is going to be a grind. It is going to be an absolute grind. And I tell you what, I didn't put this game in our Friday 5, 16.5, 16, whatever it was for Wisconsin. I almost did. I almost grabbed those points. I'm not going to lie. Last headline before we take another break. Surprise Saturday. Now, I know what we talk about a lot, and we said this last week, and we're certainly going to say this week. It's kind of a down weekend in college football. Only 2 ranked, unranked matchups and all this other stuff. BS. That is BS. This is the time where you see all hell break loose. I don't care that there aren't many ranked on ranked games. I do like the Backyard Brawl is back. The Apple Cup is this week. The Civil War is this week. So no, ranked on ranked matchups, they don't really exist. But there's a whole hell of a lot of fun on this schedule. There's a whole hell of a lot of fun we're going to have on Saturday. And when everybody thinks it's a down week in college football, that means there's chaos. 100% chaos. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. It's going to be awesome. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we will talk about some trash talk happening in another rivalry. One that I just didn't mention. And it's probably not a good idea. But I'm here for it. I'm here for all of it. It's college football smothered and covered. Of course, we are powered by the Locked On Podcast Network. Show brought to you by Factor. Fuel up with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. Meet your wellness goals thanks to the menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great tasting meals. Make today the day you kickstart your new healthy routine. What are you waiting for? With 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every single week, you'll always have new flavors to explore. Crush your wellness goals this month with dietitian-approved meals and ingredients that you can trust. Make your day delicious from breakfast to dessert. Stay fueled with easy, nutritious options. Treat yourself to restaurant-quality meals that feature premium ingredients like filet mignon, shrimp, or my favorite, and it's healthy, blackened salmon. Keep kitchen time to a minimum. Factor meals are ready in just 2 minutes. No shopping, prepping, cooking, or cleaning up. Enjoy effortless support for your lifestyle. Choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat, or simply eat well balanced. Head to factormeals.com/lockedoncollege50. That's factormeals.com/lockedoncollege50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code LOCKEDONCollege50 at factormeals.com/LOCKEDONCollege50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. All right, we got some trash talk. We got all the trash talk. Colorado State was one of the best games of the year last year, and it wrapped up at 1 a.m, and I think it was finished 6th in terms of ratings. Now, we had Josh Pate on earlier this week. I don't really care about ratings, but neither does he, but it still draws attention. The Rocky Mountain Showdown between Colorado and Colorado State. We all know what happened, the overtime game, Travis Hunter getting with a cheap shot, all that stuff. It was wild. It was fun. Love college football. That's a reason why. Well, Colorado State's players decided they wanted to talk trash. Check this out from Braden Fowler-Nicolosi, a guy who, quarterback for the Colorado State Rams, could have gone in a lot of different places. Really good player. And this is from CBS Colorado. They came out with the attitude and thought it was going to be a cakewalk. They got a rude awakening real quick. I think it goes to show the hype, the media train, all that only gets you so far. At the end of the day, you have to line up 11 guys against our 11 guys, and we'll find out who wants it more. We'll see how far Instagram followers gets them. And Torrey Horton, in that same article on CBS Colorado, we owe them one. That's been sitting on everybody's minds since we came back from break. We owe them. I don't feel like we left it on the field because we should have murdered them guys. They came out with that attitude as they were on top of the world. This ain't no Cinderella story. Woo, buddy. Yes, 1,000 times yes. Look, I don't really care that Colorado State's players are John. I love that. I love the content. I love the fact that we could put those quotes up on the screen, or if you're listening, I could read them to you and talk about this game because the Rocky Mountain Showdown is one of my favorite rivalries. It's lost its luster over the last 20 years. Deion brought it back last year. Jay Norvell brought it back last year with his trash talk. Fantastic. Love it. That's why I like these quotes. Let's go. What are the ramifications if you lose, if you're Colorado State? You get made fun of? Who cares? Who cares? Nationally speaking, people aren't going to remember this game after a few months, but it's just it adds fuel to the fire against a Colorado program that is on the brink of disaster. And I truly believe this program is on the brink of disaster. Fowler-Nicolosi is a very good quarterback. He's going up against a defense that won't have Shiloh Sanders. Colorado's offense is dreadful in terms of their offensive line. Colorado State's defensive front's pretty darn good. So can they follow through on this? Look, I don't know if they can follow through. But if you want buzz, last year this was a 2-0 Colorado team. Everybody was talking about Dion. Norvell had said some things. Celebrities all over the sidelines in Boulder. Now it's not as big. People aren't paying as much attention to it. You should, because of these quotes. But more importantly, it gives a great rivalry more eyeballs. And I love that. I really do. I kind of wish these two hadn't gone Power 4 Group of 5. Because, man, well, luckily, Colorado State's moving to Power Pac-12 now. Group of 5. Whatever. It's going to be awesome, though. That will do it for this edition of College Football Smothered and Covered, powered by the Locked On Podcast Network. Hey, for your second listen, go check out Locked On College Football. Spencer McLaughlin does a great job getting you ready for this weekend, covering all the storylines in our great sport as well. We will be back on Saturday night with a wrap-up edition of this show. Until then, have a great day. Let's see some chaos on Saturday.